Were there any interesting changes in Europe? I think most of the Europe stuff is just like people changing like one player, which is not like overly interesting. It's like, yeah, I think like almost every team had just like one player change, which is fine, but I don't think it's anything crazy. Eastern Europe, I think Toronto leaving and playing 5 is weird. Like this Bet Boom team is like, it's like defeating Wonder Boy's friend group, right? They're like all super tight, defeating, I don't know. They all have anime pictures. It's like the same thing, right? So I think that team is maybe like the most interesting team, just because it's like all the super players. Like they might have the highest average MMR of like any team or something. They have like 3 12Ks, and I think Beast Coast got not a lot, but I think got somewhat weaker. I think Chris Luck and Wisper are pretty important for that team, and I think the EG team is probably the best like super team you could make in SA. I think it's the best player on every role. You could argue Schofield is more individually skilled than Matthew, but I think Matthew is like one of the only SA captains. I think he does a lot for that team, probably the most for the team. I think Matthew's like, if anything, maybe even the MVP of that team and of the team like Thunder Predator last year. And Matthew's like a super valuable player. So that EG is like probably like Pakaz for sure the best carry in SA, Wisper for sure the best offlaner, Matthew the best 4, Chris Luck probably the best mid or like close with Dark Mago, and Pandaboo is probably the best 5. So I think it's like the SA super team. So I'm honestly curious to see. For me, I think that's the coolest team. I'm excited to see if they get like top 4 to land, because I think top 6 is the highest SA has gotten at an international or like a major. So if they could break that and get to top 4, I think that would be pretty sick.
Yeah, I think that's actually pretty much led me on to what I was going to ask next. Like based on the roster shuffles, if there are any like hidden gem kind of like rosters you think people need to look out for. So you're saying that's definitely one of them, and you think they're going to rise up and break through in the top 4.
Yeah, man, I don't know if they're like hidden necessarily, but I do think that that team is cool, and I hope they do well, because Wisper and Pakaz are like absolute beasts. Like they're really, really, really skilled players. I think both could be on like international tier 1 teams. I actually expected Wisper to like join, to like get invited to Secret or something for like years. He's like, or whenever Zai left or something, you know, because Wisper is just an absolute monster.